and we'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along, and we'll all hang out in kind. Howdy, folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with a little bit of Celeste, and holy crap! Thank you, Silver! Much appreciated! Thank you very much for the subscription. Glad you're enjoying. And hello, Pug. I did not actually see you waiting. I was mayhaps brushing my teeth, up until like a minute ago, so I was not at the computer while this was running. But hello! Welcome in! Yeah, we're continuing on with 4B. We'll see what we can do. What? Great start. Prepared 100. Exactly. No, I have been having like miserable sleep times recently, so waking up late and feeling definitely prepared for the day. Yeah, no, it's brain still coming online. I do think it will help. I've been trying to figure out doing like a little cardio each day, because cardio is one of the best things for like weight loss, which is something I need to work on, or Meathan does. The beauty of being just an ink spirit, if you need to lose weight, you just shed a little ink, go write some letters or something. But also it's something that has been shown to be pretty good for helping you feel nice and tired at the end of the day, so we'll see. I've been trying to jump rope. However, it's also been several years, so I'm not very coordinated. Hey, welcome in, Cynthia. How goes? Yeah, no, so hopefully that will help a little bit. Trying to take some steps to feel a little better at the end of each day. And then also trying to wrap my head around actually mailing physical mail to people, because I used to do that a lot more. It's been a while, so trying to remember how to make out a letter is bleh. Fun fact, didn't make the funny cool science thing for type B because your brain went, haha, funny complete burnout for literally. Oh yeah, no worry. I'm still very excited for that, especially now that it is 100% final version. I'm 100% going to be printing that out. I've got my little mini fridge, which I will be putting up on, so very excited. Burnout is totally understandable. Doing pretty good, yay! Awesome! Looky here, if it isn't the Ink Spirit TM. Indeed! I don't know if I can trademark Ink Spirit. I guess trademarks are a little wonky because you can trademark somewhat commonly used phrases. Because, like, it's tough though. Actually, I guess oftentimes they don't hold up super well. Because, like, intellectual property for, like, just word concepts doesn't work very well. Link Spirit. I mean, isn't that... Oh, what's... Navi? I have not played any of the Zelda games, so I'm just, like, vaguely aware of them, but isn't there... I guess that's not a Link spirit, but it's a spirit associated with Link, right? Like, I haven't made anything since last stream, except for one thing I made, like, an hour before streams. Oh, it's tough. You know that I am not the most creative of people when it comes to, like, creating things, but... Like, yeah, you absolutely get burned out. Like, I mean, even just with something like streaming, which, you know, I don't admittedly put a huge amount of, like, creative energy into it. It's more sort of a, hey, this is a casual thing that I can enjoy and, like, talk. Sometimes your brain isn't quite feeling it. You're not feeling that, like, ability to sort of, like, dig deep. Oh god, there was something... I remember reading something where someone described, like, the creative process as, like, an exorcism or giving birth, which I suppose is less relatable to me. But just, like, it can take a lot out of you, and you need a recovery period afterwards, so... Sometimes brain be funky, and that's alright. Whatever you do make is more than most folks do. Taking a liking to the professor? Yeah, that's legitimately. I was not BSing when I said, wow, the voice has already charmed me. Has a very good attitude as well. Consider that early Christmas. Wait, what? Oh yes, oh yes. Sorry, I just watched the Girls' Last Tour thing you sent. I'm like, the Christmas of pain, of emotional damage. But yes, no, thank you very much for that. I was like, oh, maybe I can try and do something this weekend, or this previous weekend, but I forgot I had a whole bunch of stuff scheduled. But I think even though I've got something in the evening Saturday, I should probably be able to work something out. I need to look at it though, so I know that the base game you're saying isn't mostly copyrighted. I need to double check the exact permissions, because it looks like while most of it is fine, similar to Geometry Dash, there are certain tracks that aren't, because the problem with a lot of games along those lines is there are different people that are making the music. So I will look at it. If nothing else, we will absolutely do a Discord stream. But yeah, I want to figure out, because I would like to be able to play Rhythm Doctor like on stream, but we will see. I'm doing the research. I'm doing everything I can, Novo. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot, because that removes one of the biggest barriers to me actually getting around to it. Have I ever heard of Cult of the Lamb? Yes, I have heard of Cult of the Lamb. I do not own it, but I have done like one session of playing together, doing like remote play together with a friend. It seems interesting. I'm not super big on like that degree of like, I guess, town building management, but the roguelike component seems pretty fun. Ideas 100, games 100, motivation negative 7,000. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that. The one thing I made is a Johan Art thing. Oh, hell yeah. Is that a, hey, take a peek at Discord here? Bop, bop, bop. Whoa. Man, it's like, okay, I'm still mucking up on this earlier bit here, but it's ultimately that this last little bit, I just need like enough hang time, and then I can sort of like bunny hop over, I think. Ooh. Oh, and that's why the stone is there. Ah. Mostly because all base levels are made by the developers. However, I know there are some tracks not made from the game. Notably, all bonus levels have music from other games as collab levels, so those might be troublesome. Also, there's like a singular optional level that uses a song from another artist. That might be it. Because yeah, people were saying that it was sort of an infrequent thing on the base game. So I will try and figure that out so that I can just sort of work around the one. Oh, Knucklebones. Yes. The dice rolling game. That was a fairly fun construct. Like, that in and of itself, I would probably play as a mobile game. Man, that's, you know, as much as I would really like to make a video game, and, you know, I tinker with it every once in a while, even just designing, like, a game, there we go, like a physical board game or card game or something along those lines, I think would probably be, more reasonable. Post it whenever there's time to check. Well, hey, we just hit a screen transition, so let's go. Forwards get it, huh? Also, welcome in, Uno. All mandatory levels use music made by Fizz, who is the coder too, I think. Ah, okay. Well, that's helpful. Oh. Oh, you made a non-pixel. Oh, whoa. Hell yeah. Fan art of fan art. It goes for, oh wait. The children do not understand joy? Oh. Oh god. Oh my god. Nice. That's incredible. Thank you. Wow. That's, I still, man, yeah, one of these times I really want to mess around with animating the pixel art one that Pitta did, but that's awesome. I'm so the Be Not Afraid Johann is so good. The children do not understand joy. They do not deserve joy. That's awesome. Thank you. And hey, welcome in, Robert. Bah! See the gray box in the back. All other Johann have a gray background. This one is literally breaking out of the bounds of the image. Oh god, you're right. Oh. The Johann escapeth. Yup. This is this now canonically the Johann you wouldn't like me if you wouldn't like me when I'm angry? That's amazing. Oh, you did some stuff like that when you were a kid? Nice. And then it's just this. Yeah, no. This is don't make the Johann mad. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm super that's really fun to me, especially because so the children do not deserve joy. That was literally just me sitting around watching Pitta stream. I think it was a Celeste mod. I'm not 100% sure. And it was I forget the exact joke, but it was something about like, oh, we're trying to figure out Christmas, and I was just very tired, and I don't know. I was just I'm glad that has turned into more of a thing. Fun times with art. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun the things that spin out into more. That's super cool. Thank you. Yeah. Bah. Sadness. Oh. Is StreamerBot not working? StreamerBot, what you doing? It's connected to OBS, but not the other bits. Huh? Hold up. Let us reboot the bot. I realized every Johann is spawned from either a quote or a random side joke. Pretty much, yeah. Waking up the bot. Come on, bot. You can do it. Oh. Wow, it is sleepier than Johann. Come on. Okay. Ah, there was an update available, so it was having a time, I'm guessing. Blah. And OBS, there we go. Okay, I think we're in business. There we go. All fan art has been made with Johann ink. Perfect. Yeah. Helps inspire. Which actually kind of works for ink spirits being tied to emotion. Yeah, it's those little shared moments. And it spawns new versions. Whoop. There we go. Dies. No. I'm a little concerned about what the other types of paint would be. Whoa. Okay. There we go. Cruising. Cruising. About half an hour by I'm in Celeste mode. Can I beat 4B before I have to leave? Good question. It's only taken me 3 stream. This is the 3rd stream of it. What happens if I run out of ink? I just absorb more. That's the beauty. The ink is not physically a part of me. It's a little puppet suit. Just like we all have, all ye flesh beings have a little skeleton inside of you that pilots the meat suit. How? Psychic powers. I mean, what? I don't have hands. That's very inconvenient. I've got minor telekinesis. Ink spirit relatives. Ink for posting your art are different from the ink Johann is made out of. Is it perhaps Rohan ink? Ink would disappear from the universe. What would I control instead? Oh, that's genuinely a tough one, because I don't know what would happen if ink did disappear from the universe. I'm very tied to physical mediums. I suppose, I mean, I'm experimenting with digital ones, so perhaps I would simply possess some sort of data stream, but that seems like a sad day. There's a certain permanence to physical things. Do not the jump, but it worked once. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's, to me, the physicality of mediums is quite important, because digital mediums, while they're super useful. Hey, welcome in, Essie. You know, as useful as digital mediums are, they run into an issue of difficulty in interpretation and rapid, yes, there's not really, like, signal loss, but it's very easy to rapidly come across files that you can't open. Now, you can reverse engineer those, but with things developing so quickly, there's a lot of material that isn't getting preserved in the same way that a physical medium does. Or at least, I don't think it will be. So, I don't know. I don't think I'd like to live in a world that was entirely digital. The ink and the crappy Crayola markers, probably. Jump before cloud expires. Well, let's... Look. Look. I'm doing my thing. At first I was jumping, then I was told not to jump. We're experimenting. Boop. Boop. So we can do it either way on this first one. Cloud is sync. And Madeline is push. Wait. Yeah. My god, it's almost a good feeling. It's been so long since Baba, I'm forgetting how some of the things work. Madeline is nudged down, I see. At some point we will revisit Baba, but I am mildly tempted to, like, have a Baba sobriety pin. 60 days Baba free. Boop. Ah! Bump. Okay. That was a good traversal. When does the ink end and Johann begin? Well, now, that... No, mystery counter just hasn't been there. Because I need to take a little time to figure out how to present it better. Because what happened was people found the rule and then just spammed it, which, like, yes. Basically, the way I built it incentivizes rapid figuring out of what it is, and then spamming it a whole bunch. Which is not really what I'm going for. It's something where I was hoping it would be like a slow build across multiple messages, sort of piecing it together. So just need to think about presentation, think about the presentation of that better. Make it randomized between multiple rules? No, because A, that would be nigh impossible to figure out, and B, also just far more... Oh, man. Far more of a headache. Presented as my eyes getting 1 pixel bigger? Possibly. The way this is set up is, oh, actually, man, yeah, I would have to create a whole bunch of images with that. Yeah, no, randomizing between different rules, it would also get quite bulky because it has to trigger on every message, and then there'll be a fair number of checks. Boop. Not impossible to figure out. That's exactly what I do. Hey, no, I mean, that's fair. But I feel like that would be strongly unfair to do literally like randomizing the rules and switching between them, because especially if it's like true random so that you can't predict which ones, because that would again probably incentivize more spam, because you would just want to repeat one of the trigger messages over and over again. It would just take 5 times as long if there were 5 options and it's a random selection. Possibly. The mystery counter is a little bit of experimentation, because again, really enjoy Doug. And I love that sort of element of chat interactivity, where it can be, because like I'm not big on like text-to-speech and such. I know some folks are, but it feels like something that kind of gets in the way of just like hanging out. And while I think that there are definitely ways to have like sound control on stream be an effective tool, 90% of people on the internet don't know how to use it well. Add a new rule to do it every 10 numbers. Maybe, but I don't know. It is something I am thinking about. Add pain, add redeem for pain. That requires a little further explanation, like redeem for just making pain noises, or I like hit myself in the shin with my blacksmithing hammer. Uh-oh, you have an exam tomorrow. Oh no! Redeem to I think that would fit better on different platforms, Badump Crash. Boop. Needing a letter A, and later on it will be, like, yes, having it build rules is potentially something that could be done at some point. Only ink. Exactly. New rule, duplicate messages will not activate the counter. If I'm understanding what the counter is, that could... No, that's true. Doing something along those lines could help fix it. So that, or at the very least, like, some sort of cooldown that's hidden from y'all. No, absolutely. That would be a good sort of anti-spam incentive. Indeed, good thought. Thank you. But yeah, I think it's also partially just trying to come up with slightly more complex rules so that it's not just like a single word, so that it requires... looking for particular structures, basically, I think is going to be more along the lines. I need Moan for a Q for Rhythm Doctor. Yes, clearly. In like the professor stuff, have you not seen his Y reward? Consumers eat up that kind of interaction? I have not seen the Y reward. No, and like VTubing and such, if I had software that made the model work a little more. Hey, welcome in, Evil Key. How goes? Like I could see that doing more. I will say I was looking at Unplugged Professor's like credits below the stream. I had not come across before the throwing interactive service. The fact that it's called Twitch Integrated Throwing System, and that they very proudly display that acronym, made me laugh a lot. It's going slow day for you, which is nice. Yay! We enjoy some good slow days. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well. My sleep has not been the most fantastic, but we are working on that. And yeah, like doing some productive stuff. Got some friends' birthdays coming up and such, so trying to write some physical letters and get those mailed, all that good stuff. It's just always nice, always a little meditative and therapeutic. And Celeste is going well. Is this Vanilla Celeste? It is indeed. This is my first sort of playthrough of this. I'm on 4B. I don't know how much left of it I've got, but we'll be going for probably another hour or so before switching over to some Rain World later in the day. Twitch Integrated Throwing System, TIO, exactly. And you know what? Love it. Another thing you could do is add a character for us to roleplay as, like Failboat's Lil Chatty. Maybe if you don't like TTS, you could make a text box. Doing something along those lines, yeah, of having like a chat bubble on screen, is something I've seen folks do. So like a little mascot, I guess. I've certainly found that cute. Yep. No, I was just like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's one of the, because there are some acronyms that you look at and it's like, they came up with the full name and then made an acronym and like jammed a letter in there to make it work. And then there's others where you look and go, they figured out the acronym and then came up with words to make it fit. Get a green advanced level in strawberry jam? Huh? Not a clue. Is that based on Essie's reaction, I'm guessing not too difficult? Exactly. And like I will say, like the yes, TITS, the Twitch integrated throwing system. Like that's neat to me, like as a form of interaction, being able to like do that. Again, I'm literally just using an image that I've got an OBS plugin installed to like scale up that little white background as I talk. So nothing fancy, and that would be tough to have that add in, but at some point doing VTube Studio, I might try. It's just I would probably be like making and rigging my own model, which I want to make sure I've got everything prepped, since the software for that you get a short free period for, so. Thor, pirate software, dad, coffin. Nice. Keep accidentally spawning goldens, huh? Green advanced is the slightly easier than true middle and strawberry jam, but like advanced is the B-sides difficulty, so okay, gotcha. Gonna go slay a princess. Please make a loud screech in your left ear when you start playing the hit indie game Rain World. Alright, enjoy slaying the princess. At some point, we will play that on stream. I'm very excited for that game, and I have it purchased. Which, by the way, slight shout out, if any of you are ever like looking for a really interesting piece of internet content, you'll slay all right? Yas. If any of you are looking for a really interesting piece of internet content on YouTube, go search up, the show is called Strip Search. Maybe don't just search up the word strip search on YouTube, because that might get you different results. I don't know, probably like Penny Arcade strip search would work. It's really neat little piece of media that was produced in part by Loading Ready Run, or members of Loading Ready Run, who, as I have mentioned multiple times, I really enjoy. But it's a lovely little premise. It's a reality show where they got together, I believe, 12 like aspiring comic artists, and had them go stay in a house somewhere in like the Pacific Northwest of the US. And it was Washington, because they have an episode in Seattle, that's right. And have them go basically work on not just their art, but also on doing some challenges to do with being a comic artist. So like how to run a con, how to market yourself. And it's a really neat little piece of content with some really neat artists. And it does, I don't like a lot of reality TV because it's very intentionally like over dramatized. People are mean to each other. I don't need to watch people be awful to each other. But even with them trying to have a little drama happen, because, you know, it's one of those shows, they were just nice to each other. What they ended up doing was basically just creating a temporary little like artist collective. And it was really, really nice. I enjoy it a lot. So go check it out on YouTube. Huge recommend. And I think it's a particularly great show if you yourself are interested in art and knowing a little bit more about it. The reason I brought that up because of Slay the Princess is that I believe Abby Howard is one of the competitors, and I believe that she is one of the artists to work on Slay the Princess, which the first I saw of the game, I went, that art style looks really, oh my god, that's her. So, there's my little plug for a piece of content that I think is quite cool. I don't think reverses aren't B-sides, but correct you if you're wrong. Okay. Opinions on FART, on fart. I don't know. What does fart stand for? Fallible aliens, railroading troopers. I don't know. Fathers Against Rude Television? Would not be super in support of that. I don't know. Like, people should be allowed to create and air stuff? I'm generally fairly against, like, rating systems and such. But, eh. 5 main difficulties are Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, Expert, and Grandmaster, each subdivided into green, yellow, and red. Okay. Generally, Intermediate is considered B-side difficulty, so green Advanced would be, like, barely above B-sides. Oh, okay, so still tough for me. Hey, in the same room as you? What? Oh. In the game. It's like, how'd you figure out where I lived? Wow, brain. Oh dear. It's specifically rude television. Even if something isn't something, like, even if a piece of content isn't something I enjoy watching, I don't love watching people be rude, but, like, I don't know. I would have a hard time being against it, because if people want to watch that content, and people are willing to make that content, and it's not doing anything, like, criminal? I can personally disagree with something and still enjoy the fact that people have access to content that they enjoy. Well, the television is sentient and rude to you specifically and only you? Well, that's a different thing. So, if we're railing against the hardware being rude, yeah, I mean, you know, we should teach it good manners. Hug has my full IP address? Uh-huh. Yes, because I am someone who has definitely not taken any precautions about my location. I'm, definitely not paranoid enough to figure out ways to try and make it look like I'm from somewhere I'm not. Haha. There we go, thank you. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh hey! Beat the room? No longer in the same room as you, sorry Johan. No worries. That just means that you have a lot more experience, and I am learning. I'm but a young Padawan who is repeatedly dying on the same jump, but hey, we're yapping and having a good time. I mean, there's only one rock revolving around the sun that supports life, so... You sure about that? When's the last time you've looked at Mars? No. The world is a napkin? Why a napkin? Boop. So we go jump. No! Napkins are small. I mean, yes, napkins are small, so why is the world a napkin? It's a small world after all? Is that what we're going with? Oh hey, you beat it? No! Oh hey, that is somewhat heartening though. That means that there isn't too much further to go. Napkin Earth Theory. Whoa! Spin! Backflip! Thank you, Silver. How's it going? It seemed like you might have dipped out of chat. Thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. And thank you for the bit. I am always happy to spin when people throw money at me. Perfect timing. Gonna go? Alright. Thank you, Pug. Have a good one. Farewell. Oh, it's a Spanish version of that idiom. Oh, so instead of it's a small world after all, the world is a napkin. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Opinions on Slugcat? Slugcat adorable. Bye! I have a big announcement on Christmas Day. Intriguing. I'm excited. We get March Christmas content? Or at least March Christmas announcement? Is it going to be that there's a marsh tree topper? Okay, so, like, Christmas, is something that Christmas update already out. Yes, no, it's, I know, which is why I'm holding off on playing more March until at least December 1st. It is something else, but I'm picturing a March tree topper. You know how I've seen the two major tree toppers I've seen in like media are like a star is very traditional on top of the tree, but also I've seen angels on top of a tree. And there's a, oh god, is it like Bob Rivers Twisted Tunes, I think? Sort of intended as like adult jokey holiday songs, but there's one about an angel who is quite disgruntled about being put atop a Christmas tree because would you want someone to put you on a Christmas tree? Like, that's going up an uncomfortable place. And I'm picturing poor March having a similar moment, just being jammed on top of a tree and singing about how painful it is to be put upon a pine tree. Box retextured into present. Wow. Wonder if by the time Everest loads, I start a new save, unlock Fourb and beat it. Johan will have progressed past this room. Hey, we already got through a few rooms today. Gotta have at least one that really slows us down. This first cloud is giving me a surprising amount of trouble. It's like, if I don't jump, I still have issues with it. And if I do jump, half the time I just end up in the ceiling. Hey, also, can we... Aw. I was hoping that maybe there was something down there. Bah. Bah. I mean, man. Being able to see March in a, like, big box store, that would be awesome. Boop. No. Well, Robert, all that means is that you gotta go look at the March source code and reconstruct a version of the game so that you yourself can make the March maker. Make a March platformer maker? That would be fun. Oh, for the, yeah, for the, like, side-scroller levels? Boop. No. Okay. Bam. Bam. Okay, I do think that not jumping is my best bet there. Or at least I'm most consistent with that. Which isn't saying a whole lot, but we'll take what we can get. And there, I need to keep up the momentum. Bah! Jumpeth? No! Sproingy? Well, there I just went too far to the right. Okay. No! Because, yeah, you really can't use your dash there because you'll need it to get to the green bubble. Okay. Umpteenth time is the charm? Me, I can't use my dash there. Uses dash. Blah. No! You can tell I'm getting a little more focused because I'm not just yapping about random things. No! Okay. Oh, wait, no. Don't launch into a new... Oh no, so we need to dash and get over onto... Okay. Don't start a new topic when you're actually doing well, Johan. No, I was just going to say, so I was saying like, oh, you know, I'm writing some physical mail to some friends, and trying to send like, you know, little birthday money, that type of thing. And I realized, unfortunately, sometimes people in the postal service will like, okay, No! Words. Turns out sometimes people will, like, open mail if they think there's money in there and, steal it out, which sucks. So I was like, oh, checks are a good way of dealing with that. Chat, it has been so long since I've needed to write a physical check. I don't have any checks. All of my banking's done online. I need to order a checkbook. Things that you don't think about until you desperately need it. Pretty much everything's electronic these days. And it's like, oh my god, right, there's actual call for physical checks. Dear god. I did not realize, though, that apparently you can get checkbooks from, like, major retailers in some cases, which is wonky to me. I assumed it would always just be through the bank, but, Hashtag adulting, I guess. Like, randomize everything, like, oh. So that sometimes it's, like, inverted controls. Oh, no. Or, even worse than inverted controls, just, like, completely shuffles things around. So, like, shoot is pressing up on the controller or up on your keyboard. Ooh, no, Sir Solar with magnets. On your pack of starter checks from your bank. Handy have, but rarely needed. Well, that's... I switched to a new bank a little while back. They didn't actually send me any starter checks. It's free to order, apparently, which is nice. I don't know if that's introductory or just what they always do, but it was like, I don't have any checks around. But yeah, no, super rarely needed. Because, like, I only need 2 here, and it will be a checkbook of 50, so if I figure probably... maybe if I do this again for, like, Christmas or something, I won't, because it's short order. Like, maybe I would use 4 per year, so, like, good luck, I'll run out in a little over 10 years, but, blah. Yeah, no. So it's certainly handy to have, but yeah, just a little like, oh, I probably should have had that already. Get a Marsh tattoo. I apologize for the magnets. Is that the Marsh tattoo? To shoot in the game, you have to shoot a real gun at your monitor. That sounds expensive. So I could definitely see some folks on the richer end of things doing that. Also, sorry, Tesla, I realized, just chatted. Hello, welcome in. You flowed so naturally into the conversation, I didn't even parse it. Jump is remapped your IRL jump? Okay, now that would just be good, good exercise. Marsh becomes therapeutic game that, helps you work on your jumping. Oh, that's, I mentioned at the start of stream, but, man, so yeah, I pulled out an honest-to-God jump rope the other day, because I'm like, I should do something to do a little bit of, cardio. And like, running does not work super well for me, but, oh my god. Jumping rope is way harder than I remembered, and part of it is because it's an actual rope, and what I was used to were these, like... We had these, like, sort of plasticky ropes, in, like, my physical education classes when I was a kid. And those were really nice, but, don't really prepare you for using a literal actual rope, because it moves differently. Celeste movement is mapped to IRL movement. Have fun dashing IRL. Better start practicing. Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Are you guys not able to just, like, dash? I mean, I guess the way I've, like, contextualized it, if this was a physical ability that Madeline had, I imagine what's happening is she is just able to push off with her legs so fast that she's compressing the air under her and able to, like, push off from that, but... Yeah, that would be a little tough for folks. Oh, right, it's the trans powers, of course. Man, those would be nice to have. Why don't you high jump then? Huh? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. So I'm not big on sports. I don't know if that's been like obvious, but not a big sports blob. Oh, we did it. Okay. Here's the thing. I will say, I do personally take a lot of exception with the term egg in like the context of trans communities. I get there are a lot of people that use that positively, and it's a lovely thing. I personally am really uncomfortable with it because there's a like strong implication of knowing someone better than they know themselves, which just kind of icks me out. I don't know. That is something I've realized because it's like, you know, I have gone through gender identity explorations, and that just every time I came across that just did not make me feel good. So no hate to people who use that to describe themselves and such, but I would kindly ask that people not use that, at least in any way pertaining to me, or yeah. Go for this room. We gotta figure out how to get these doorbells. Is gonna be a little interesting. Blah. So it's like, okay, so we can climb here, but how do we... It feels like to get this first one, we need to go up and grab onto that, like, right stone thing? So maybe straight up and then upright? Ooh. No! Game mode creative, of course. People not knowing themselves or in denial is definitely a thing, but that's definitely another aspect. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's... And, like, that's again, like, it is a term that different people... As with many labels, people have different feelings on it. So it's like, it's not something where I'm like, terrible word, never use it. Just I have recognized that is something I've had people, like, jokingly call me. I'm like, not a vibe. So just thank you kindly for not using that word about me. Yeah. Thank you for the hydrate, much appreciated. Hippo, please. Huh? Okay. Aha, there we go. Point is that even if it's true, it's not someone else's place to call them out like that. Especially, no, exactly. It's just sort of like, yeah. You nailed it. No. That's like, yep, yeah. If someone wants to use that to describe that like themselves that way, or if that's like a joke that they're fine with, but yeah, no, I have yeah. I will say it is very funny though when like there's a friend that you know over time and you look at them and you're like, I'm pretty sure there's going to be something along those lines. And then it's like, huh, 4 years later, we were right. I do always enjoy the I'm not gonna say anything, but we nailed it. It's always fun trying to come up with, like, just in general, doesn't even have to be like a gender or sexuality thing, but like trying to come up with goofy little ways to like help friends who are having like realizations about themselves be more comfortable with it. One of my favorite examples that I think I've mentioned briefly, I had a friend who was recognizing that, like, I don't know if this whole like he him masculine like gender identity works for me, and they really liked garlic bread. What they've ended up with is basically they just literally don't care, use whatever pronouns to refer to them, which is kind of where I landed on, of like, I am me, I am Johan. That is about as fussed as I am about it. So I think we need to go this way. But yeah, I think we need to like go over. That's gonna be tough. Getting that last, or that sort of middle doorknob or doorbell. But when they were still just like first playing around with it, I was like, what is something that is so utterly goofy that I can do to like make them aware that like this is a fine and okay thing? I've always enjoyed like Tales of the Fey Folk and whatnot. I enjoy like little fairy things. So they really enjoyed garlic bread. So I went, I will trade you the nebulous concept of your gender identity. I will get to own that if, in return, I give you a piece of garlic bread. And guess what? They took the deal. I'm so happy. I get to own such a nebulous concept. I've always loved bargains along those lines in like mythology. But yeah, so it's like, I get to own that. That made them feel a little bit better about like figuring that whole thing out. And they got garlic bread out of it, and it was very good garlic bread too. If I may toot my own horn, I did like a lovely garlic butter for it. Room irks you. It just kind of feels bad. It feels like a very strange progression to it. There's not like a obvious, oh, this is the path that we go, or like, oh, I've had the epiphany. Like, I'm still not actually sure how we're supposed to get that middle one, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Like the symmetry progression for the 3 keys. Like, I feel like this is one of those rooms that when I get it, I'll go, oh, that was neat. And in the meantime, I'm going to going, why? Why has this done this to me? Boop. Yeah. Like, I think it's going to be something where we have to, like, go over like that, but that requires more dashes than we can. A certain amount of that is by design, like, each dingle is its own little mini challenge. I love the word dingle for those. That's so much better. Each dingle has its own mini challenge, but it kind of doesn't work that well in your opinion? That's fair. That's the beauty of games. People can disagree greatly on them. Because yeah, it's like we can go there, but there's not another jumping off point. Even if we like go straight up, I don't think we can, but maybe we can? Wah. No. Games are cool. That is something that I wish that there was a career in, like, literally just talking about games and, like, what you can get out of them. My ideal career, I guess, is being a, like, English lit professor, except for video games. No, I don't know if that's, like, all I would want to do, but that is definitely something, like, I suspect it comes through when I talk about stuff. That's how I view it. Game critic, it's not quite. I don't know. It's not just purely game critique, because it's something where I think there are a lot of people that still look at games as they don't understand them as a medium that can have artistic merit in the same way that a book can or a movie. And that's something I love to talk to people who don't understand that and sort of get across the idea, like, you can play a game and it can impact you as much as a movie can. I'm posting pre-records of my playthrough of The Crooked Man, little RPG Maker horror game, and holy crap. The one that I put up, oh god, that was 2 days ago? I had remembered vaguely that there were some things that really resonated with some, like, aspects of who I was a few years ago in, like, a very rough place, and it hit me like a truck. Okay, that was something. But yeah, no, like, man, that has hit me harder than any book or movie has recently. inclusion of game mechanics into literature and reader-player experience is definitely a rich base to analyze and research. 100%. Don't think there's a huge market for it. Although, like, something I have looked into a little bit, Child's Play is a charity that is funding, it's funding basically game technician programs that are people doing like consulting work for hospitals and helping them get all of their like video game stuff set up to try and make it, you know, easier for kids who are having long hospital stays, which I'm like, that could be something I could enjoy for a while. It's fair and understandable if your opinion is based on Mario, Overwatch, and Fortnite, but I challenge anyone to play Grease, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but I own that, and that is on my list to completion, and not question whether it can be an art form. Yeah, because that's the one. It's I don't actually even know what the game mechanics are, but it uses watercolor art, right? Better hurry on to a done. Oh no! But wait, the conversation's so interesting. But yeah, and still a question. Yeah, it's a friend that I unfortunately have sort of drifted apart from played it and really loved it, and she was someone who did not play a lot of games, but she was someone that like did not understand them as that medium, but she and another friend of mine hit it off pretty well, and the other friend is very big on games and was able to get her to understand that, hey, maybe they do have some stuff to say. But yeah, and the thing is, like, so like Mario, Overwatch, and Fortnite. I have not played many Mario games. I have not played much Overwatch and Fortnite. Actually, I've played more Mario than I've played Overwatch and Fortnite, I guess I should say. Because I have played none of Overwatch and Fortnite. And that is something I often use, like GTA 5 as like a sort of classic example of a game that, like, it has a story. I've watched some playthroughs of the story. It does not feel like something that is like, it does not feel like that was where most of the development went into that game. But like Mario, we were doing some lingo the other day where there was a lot of talk about like Mario lore, and there's, yeah, even Mario isn't that shallow, and that's I would have kind of assumed it was, but I'm finding that there is a lot more to it apparently, depending on how far into it you go or which ones exactly you're talking about. Yeah, and that's I don't have a whole lot of context for it, but yeah, there seems to be more to it. Plus, also, like, you can take it, you can look at it from like a historical perspective, I think is also something to consider when talking about like the sort of value of stuff. But yeah, no, the OG arcade game, so things where it's just sort of like scoring points. And yeah, and that's, I guess there's this sort of like differentiation, I think, between games that are made with the intent to tell a story and the ones that are made purely to entertain. And that's, I'm still trying to come up with good words for it, but it's, I've talked about this so many times because it's something that I keep grappling with, but it's the difference between a game like Solitaire, where there's a lot of depth to it, but it's from the technical gameplay. It's from learning patterns, it's from building skills. There's that sort of game. And then there are the games where it is more along the lines of like reading a book or doing like an RPG, right? Where you are an active participant in a story. Because, you know, there's genre labels, I think, are a good place to start, but a lot of times there's a lot of breadth in that. And it was funny because the other day I was thinking about the fact while I'm shelving books in a library that that's basically the extent to which libraries categorize books and sort things is only by genre. So you've got a romance section. There's a lot of range when it comes to like romance novels. Sometimes you've got like 2 shelves full of an author who is obviously just pumping them out with like Google image searched covers and probably just has a writing formula that they plug in. And then you've got ones that are this little one-off book that is a romance, but it's not about the romance. GPT, type novels. No, well, here's the thing, Novo. I'm talking, like, ones that have been around for a very long time, because, I mean, that, it's like one of the oldest forms of, oh god, what were they called? Penny Dreadfuls, I think, in the UK, around, like, the Charles Dickens era, because, like, Charles Dickens was paid by the word. You've got a lot of authors that aren't writing for the sake of creation, they are writing for the sake of making a paycheck, which is less and less these days, but it still happens. They've been doing that since long before ChatGPT, and can do a darn sight better than it. But yes, they, at least to me, feel like they have similar amounts of artistic merit in some cases. That is very much said tongue-in-cheek, not to degrade the fact that this is someone who is still, able to sit down and pump out novels, which I think has a lot of value, even if they are not ones that I'm particularly not to actually compare their writing to AI writing, but I suspect that if they had started later, they may have looked at that at least for a while. Celeste were just a free-play platformer, it would still be a good game. It just wouldn't be something that you stick with for as long as you do with the narrative, graphics, and music. No, absolutely, and that's something about these B-sides that I think is a little rough, is the fact that we're not getting more of that story going forward, which I would have loved to get a little more story in the B-sides, and I get that, like, they're not like mainline things, but yeah. I don't know, I would like to get a little bit more. Squid Game Season 2 is happening? Interesting. Squid Game was not my favorite, but it still, it had some interesting things to say, and I am generally a sucker for content that is from a very different, like, cultural background than my own, because I feel like there's always something intrinsically valuable about seeing art that was made by people who have lived in a very different environment than myself. It's just silly. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. The games were interesting. In fact, there's some kind of anti-story in the B-sides, but I won't spoil what I mean by that. It's a funny line. Oh dear. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So you've got authors that are churning stuff out in a very, very, like, copy-paste format, and then you've got authors that are, this is something they wanted to say, and it happened to be a romance that they decided to say it with. And I think games are very similar in that, so it might be a futile task to come up with, like, the right language for it, but I still want to try, of, like, the things that seem to have been made primarily for the purpose of entertainment versus ones that were made primarily for the purpose of conveying something, and a lot of them exist in between, right? It's categorizing stuff is hard because usually you're trying to create something that doesn't actually exist, right? In Stars in Time, you did indeed recommend that. Ah! That is, yeah, that is, yeah, it is on my radar. But yeah, I don't know, just trying to come up with the language to be able to, like, accurately convey to people who haven't played things before, like, why they're valuable. And that's something I'm doing a little bit right now of, I'm trying to convince, I've mentioned that I do tutoring for people, particularly in math. It's volunteer tutoring for people who are in sort of risky environments or have something that makes life harder for them, basically. And it's fun. I fully admit it can be very frustrating because it's unfortunate how often these people don't have a whole lot of motivation to be doing the work to get themselves into a better position, but some of them really try, and I'm always willing to work with that. It is just, if you're ever interested in something along the lines of social work or doing, like, at-risk youth outreach, keep in mind that one of the biggest skills that I would recommend is a lot of patience and tolerance for people not caring about the work you do. And that's not just from the public not caring, that's from the people you're working with. But one of the things that I'm doing right now is the guy that I've been working with was not motivated to read until playing a video game that they were really interested in. And that got them motivated to like learn how to read, which is pretty cool and impressive. Currently working with them on math and realizing that like it is not worth my time to sit down and help them with like their times tables, because I have put in the work to try and help them with times tables, but fundamentally there's X amount that you can do as a tutor to help with times tables, because it boils down to like rote memorization. So I've imparted what tricks I can, but it's going to take a couple of hours, and me just sitting there learning math so I can beat satisfactory. Hey, but no, that's yeah. There are a lot of games that can help with math, and I've been trying to find some games that will help with that. Right now, I'm literally just looking for stuff that will help create an interesting environment for memorizing their times tables. And best I've come up with, I found a lovely little game called Super Algebral that I think will be good for that. But, you know, also just trying to think, I'm trying to think a little bit more about some stuff that can help with other types of math and whatnot. So, I don't know, it's very interesting trying to connect that, and I'm also trying to, I'm getting to do it as like sort of volunteer work. There's a friend of a friend that is trying to figure out some games that are semi-educational for their homeschooled son. So yeah, I don't know, it's fun. I enjoy thinking about how games can be used to help people learn stuff. And hey, welcome in, Quote. We will absolutely check the solution for hello. We'll probably do that. We've got another 20-ish minutes, which I'm hoping sounds like I'm really close to the end of this. Really hoping that I can get through this bit of Celeste before we transition over to Rain World, but we'll see. Uh-oh, Nobo Depression arc part, who knows, appears to be coming? No! I hate when you're like doing well and then you can feel it coming on the horizon. Stay strong though. Oh, I did see, I finished reading the first book of Certain Scientific Railgun, and I've seen the spiky, I now understand spiky hair guy with the magic hand. Finish The End Is Nigh again, and officially have more progress in your second file than I had in the old one. Hey! Nice. I think my approach is flawed, because I don't know how to, like, it feels like I should be able to get around there, but I don't know if I can actually come back. Spiky hair guy, go bird, yeah. Half as many deaths, hey, you got better. Recently ordered a book about game design called A Theory of Fun. I'm only a few chapters in, but it's already a super interesting read. Oh, okay. Who's it by? I should look it up. I'm just also going, I bet if I search that up, I will probably get several results by different authors, or at least that feels like a name that may have been used multiple times. But that sounds interesting. I love, I forget who said it, but something I saw at one point. I hate when I do that, where I've got a memory or like a particular viewpoint that I can't recall. Raph Koster. Okay, Raph Koster, A Theory of Fun. Raph Koster, A Theory of Fun. Awesome. That is now in my search results, so I can check it out. Oh, thank you. But I loved, at one point, I heard someone put it as the entertainment, or the fun in games. And they were talking less about video games and more about like physical ones, but the fun of games is derived from putting, oh god, I can't remember the exact phrasing and it's going to drive me insane, but it's basically from giving respect to something that doesn't otherwise deserve it, which I thought was a very interesting thing. And I don't think that applies to everything, to every game. In fact, I would say it probably doesn't apply to a number of games. But I think that I really like that as a framework for thinking about like what makes stuff fun. It's like, you know, chess and such. It's such a ridiculous little thing in a microcosm, but there's so much depth to it if you give it that respect. Hey, welcome in, Jammer. How goes? But yeah, I don't know. That was a very interesting little thing to me of like, oftentimes it's about developing like very specific things. Can you explain what that means? I'm having trouble Yeah, no, it's something that I still roll in my head a little bit. Goes good, yay, awesome. Still riding the high of completing vision? Oh, yes, yeah. Of retrograde inverse, awesome, yay. It's basically, the concept is like tag, right? Tag fundamentally boils down to running after and lightly tapping people. If you view it as simply that, a lot of people tend to be very dismissive of games along those lines, right? Because it's, where's the higher order thought in that? What meaning does that provide? But there are people who play professional tag. There are people who have a lot of fun with that and get a huge amount out of it. It's something that they read a lot into because it's something they really enjoy, and they develop whole philosophies based around. And chess, right? You're moving pieces. You've made up fake rules to move pieces around. I've heard people talk about chess that way, of, you know, it's arbitrary rules. How does this have any bearing on real life? And it's, you know, the point of it is you can choose to view the game that way, or you can choose to view it as something that has thousands of years of history that people have been entertained by, that has a huge amount of depth and huge amount of literature that you can read into it that can be a metaphor for aspects of life. I'm somewhere in the middle on chess. All about advanced battles, ayo. But it's this concept of the fun in games, the entertainment in games, comes from devoting more seriousness to them than they otherwise deserve. Is this sort of, it's saying, okay, sure, we'll accept your premise that they are intrinsically meaningless. We accept that premise, but then we reject that that's how you should interact with it. Just because something is maybe inherently meaningless doesn't mean that you can't assign meaning to it. And that's where the fun can come in. I don't think that's true of everything. I think that's a limited look at it, but it's still something that stuck with me as a sort of reminder that it's if you can get someone to engage in something, it can be fun, no matter what it is, however simple. Part of the magic circle is applying a level of pretension to something which is extrinsically trivial. Yeah, this pretension is made easier when there is a level of extrinsic value to engaging with said trivial pursuits, such as monetary gain, social status, and simulation. Right, it's if people can go, oh, well, this is what it gets me, of, oh, you know, I can be a professional Fortnite player. It's a lot easier for people to go, oh, I can understand and respect this, of like, oh, you can make a career out of this game. Okay, that's worthwhile. But if you can't, a lot of people tend to be a little more dismissive of it, but that doesn't need to be there for it to be fun. Rationalizing the commitment to the bit, I guess. Yeah, in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of people that if they don't have that sort of extrinsic value to it, something that is valued by the rest of society, they poo-poo it. But a lot of games, it's something where, like, Jump King, I think a great example of that. Jump King was a game, or Jump King is a game that you're just trying the same thing over and over again. You're just climbing, right? And it's a very simple game, and I think trying to explain that to some of my older relatives, they would just go, why did you spend 50 hours on that? But Jump King had an amazing amount of impact on my resilience. It was a meditation for me on how to get back up again and keep going. And that added a huge amount of value because I took it seriously. I took it as an exercise in managing myself and achieving a goal. And that gave it a huge amount of value. Can't lose the game if you choose not to play at all. No, and that's indeed. It only has power if you allow it to. Congrats on losing the game. But yeah, only has power if you allow it to, exactly. It's something where you have to buy into it. If, quote, doesn't buy into it, there's no power. I also tend to not buy into the game because it was mostly used by, I would say, somewhat annoying kids while I was growing up. I was just like, I'm not giving them this power over me. But like conceptually, yeah, that is something that exists so purely for the sake of its own existence. Tried to figure out what the blank image you posted on Discord is. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, so much can be gained out of stuff by just giving it a little more power to. Cassette unlocked, beware, uh-oh. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, it's something that sticks with me as a way of approaching people who tend to be, dismissive of stuff. We'll see, I am not very puzzly today, quote, so, that is probably not something we will spend too much time on today, if we do. Oh, you know what the blank image is? Nice, okay. Boop. I'm apparently feeling like waxing poetic about games. It is ridiculously easy to find. We will see. I mean, like, even the puzzles, I think, are another great example of something where it's like, I guess, you know, you can tie in the extrinsic value of there's a reward. You can commission a drawing from quote, but it's also something where, like, a lot of it requires folks to go, I'm interested. I want to know the answers and whatnot. And that is where a lot of entertainment comes from, because at least I personally am of the opinion that there is not any sort of inherent meaning to the world, to our lives, to the universe. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, the fact that there's a stamina crystal there is very suspicious to me. So I think I'm going about it wrong here. So there's not something up there. Why? Ultimately, engaging with reality in any way requires playing along to some degree. Yeah. I mean, we have to trust that our reality, you know, that what we're seeing is real, or at least buy into that. So far, only Sigma asked for a single drawing out of the 3 puzzles he solved. I'm kind of banking on people not asking you for the drawings. Fair enough. But yeah, that's kind of the point of, it can, you know, like, solving it is not necessarily done for the drawings. It's done for the sake of the enjoyment of the puzzle. So yeah, which, you know, or more importantly, caring about what happens in reality at all. Also true. But yeah, I don't know. So that is something that has stuck with me. It's just like a interesting way of rejecting what I would call sort of like pessimistic nihilism. Because like I think what I have sort of settled on as a life philosophy in a lot of ways is nothing matters and that's okay. I think I've said it before, but there's a lovely line from a song that makes me very happy of, and here's to our lives being meaningless, and how beautiful it is that freedom doesn't have a purpose. And that, in a lot of ways, that's, I don't know, that's just, that's something that makes me very happy. Of, there is an intrinsic purpose, but don't let that get you down. Because I know there's a lot of people that have a need for there to be some purpose for some reason in life. I've tried so hard. I've tried so hard to believe in something that gives an intrinsic value and purpose to things, and I have not been able to find that. Not now, just eventually? Yeah. That's where you're doing all of the, like, interesting house builds and such, yeah? I would love to. But yeah, it's... That makes me very happy. I've also heard it put as, we're all just compost and training, so since one day we'll all return to dirt, let's bring some stories for the worms. And that's, when you have trouble finding, like, an intrinsic value, taking sort of comfort in, there doesn't need to be one, you get to make your own, makes me very happy. one has to continually make the conscious choice to continue engage with the world or even existence. Our flesh brains make this decision far easier as we are programmed to prefer life to not life, but we still have to make the choice. Absolutely. Given enough time though, anyone may choose to go, that's fine. I think we've even talked about that a little bit earlier of just like I used to have horrible existential dread of like, oh, I will either be or not be for eternity at some point. Like even if you can avoid death, at some point, there's forever. So what I've sort of settled on there is like, immortality, yeah, that would be a little problematic, but like I would love to be able to live until I get bored, until the choice to not be. Oh, we go up there and jump. There's my problem. Oh yeah, no worries. We've been talking about games in general, quote, and now we're just transitioning to philosophy, I guess. With you on the philosophy, but always had trouble really feeling at ease about it? Absolutely. You came from a Christian family. Means it's a very different mindset than I was raised for, and obviously I don't have the familial support. No, and I have heard that from a lot of folks. And yeah, that can be tough. I'm fortunate in that I was raised in an environment where I was told a lot of different ideas about philosophy, but not expected to necessarily get on board with any of them. But yeah, no, that is something where, yeah, a lot of people, I used to be a lot more harsh when it comes to like religion of like, oh, I've recognized that there are some people where that is something that I think legitimately helps them live a better, happier life. But I do think there are a lot of people who can sometimes depend on it a little bit like a philosophical crutch, which is not good. At the same time, I think people also do that with science and other people's reason and such of waving intellectualism as a magic stick to ward off the bad thoughts. But I think anything, as long as you give it proper thought and can find a way to make it jive for you, is that can work. just make sure it's something that fits for you. Reading a fanfiction and yeah, this sure is fanfiction. Oh dear, okay. Immortality with an exit button is the ideal for me. I like existence, even as I acknowledge that the preference is due to your meat brain. Yep. I also register that eventually I may prefer non-existence to existence, given enough time so that the exit button is important to the deal. Yerp. Religion is fine, tolerable. The institution of religion, on the other hand, yeah. Well, and it's even then, there are like community churches and whatnot that I've seen do some amazing work. They can be a fantastic community hub. It's, as with everything, here's the Johann classic out. As with everything, it depends. It's, yeah, there's so much variety to pretty much everything. It's like, yeah, I by and large the like large world churches, I'm not my thing, but all is great, just lighter and darker. Yep. I mean, religion is one way people can find satisfaction with their position in life, and ultimately that's what it's for. It's also not the only option, which certain groups don't seem to get. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think there are some people that tend to use it as a crutch. What I'm trying to get at with that is, I think that if you develop a life philosophy that is inherently threatened by other philosophies, that is a crutch. That is something that you are leaning on and can be kicked out from under you. Please do not kick crutches out from under people. I don't think I should need to say that, just disclaimer. But it is something that I take issue with that. I think that is not a useful tool. That is something that they are being overly... See, man, me realizing that using crutch, like, that is a turn of phrase, please take it for what it is, but the analogy falls apart. Because sometimes people really need crutches. But yeah, it's I guess, and it's an unstable foundation. Nah, go out, find a guy in a wheelchair, and yank it out from under. No. I will say, brief side note, something that I loved. One of my elementary school teachers did a really cool thing where we like every week, he got a wheelchair on loan, some crutches, a blindfold, and it might have just been those three. I think it was just those three. No, a sling, that was it, right, a sling. And we could sign up each week to basically use one of them with the commitment that we had to stick to them. We weren't allowed, if we were doing that, we had to actually commit to it. And it was really interesting as a way of, we were excited about it because they were unique and novel experiences to us, but it's something that we could walk away from, but it gave us, I feel that I developed a bit more empathy from having to spend a day in a wheelchair. Granted, again, a very different experience because I had the option to get up at any point, but that just still having that experience and sort of playing into it, I thought was a fantastic teaching tool for elementary school kids. I would love to see that more. Wheelchair was interesting. There were some things that were kind of fun about it. There were some things that were less fun about it, obviously. Being blind with the blindfold sucked. There were things I could do to get creative in the wheelchair, but I really struggled with not having sight. So just, I don't know, sorry, little side note of, I wish more teachers would do something like that. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, no, it's, if a philosophy is fundamentally threatened by other people having a different philosophy, that is an unstable foundation and usually going to lead to bad things. Oop. No! There are at least 2 religions that have an exclusive heaven membership deal, therefore we're all going to hell even though those of us in neither religion, so thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah, no, and stuff like that. It's like, those are very clear control mechanisms, and I not my cup of tea. Went from a Gnostic atheist to the most extreme form of agnostic there is. In that I don't believe it's possible to know anything at all. Interesting. You can't quote, knowledge is never in absolutes, only degrees of utility. Example, can breathe air, can't in water. Is generally useful and correct unless there's too little oxygen or too much CO. Yeah, no, that's fundamentally, yeah, like, you still ultimately have to buy into the feedback that you're getting from your sense organs is being processed correctly and represents real things, right? Like, at some point, everyone just has to take that as a given to know something. But yeah, it's all fundamentally, who knows, this might just be a vivid hallucination. But what's the point? How does that materially affect my life? High school, I was like, God doesn't exist. You can prove God doesn't exist. If you believe otherwise, you're stupid. Now I'm like, you can't prove anything is, no, and that's kind of, when I was younger, I was a very staunch atheist, and I was an awful little kid because I tried to convert religious kids to atheists. I was the worst kind of child. Particularly bad because it worked in a couple scenarios, but that is 100% no. Because my goal is not to mess with people's beliefs. I think it's good to ask questions if they are open to having a conversation about it, but don't. My problem with people trying to force their beliefs on me is they're trying to force their beliefs on me. I should not have tried to force that on other people. Fascinated by the fact that science is, in part, the study of how well we know the things we know, and equally fascinated that, to some people, whether they know it explicitly as such or not, a knowledge of uncertainty is an abject horror from the deep, that some people must know things are absolute to exist. Religions which, no, and that's, yeah, science is something that we're doing the best that we can, right? But it's fundamentally, I think one of the things that terrified me the most is, learning that, like, p-values, that the sort of accepted, like, this is probably correct, is set to 5%. That basically it's, this would only happen 5% of the time if this data was random. Now, obviously, you have to rely on like repeated experiments and a whole bunch of other stuff, but just like that realization and the fact that that's not a codified standard. That's not something that there's a group out there saying, hey, this is like an acceptable thing. This is just like what we've kind of agreed upon. And there are some people that think it should be 1% or 1/10%. And there's no one dictating that. Maybe go, oh no. But it's doing our best to figure stuff out and have ways of checking that and be transparent about it 100%. Legends which require belief for entrance into the club will always be some level of controlling. Yep. Can confirm that given certain axioms, certain gods cannot exist without contradiction with scripture. There's a guy who goes by Wheels. He lost use of his legs in an extreme sports accident and lives in a wheelchair. So what do? He decked out his chair and will do giant jumps and flips and stuff in the wheelchair. That's the kind of person I want to be, ideally with the use of your legs. But you know what I mean. No, absolutely. Oh, I've been thrown a challenge. I will beat this challenge with flying colors. Spiritual in general, good luck with that. Yes. Like he took an awful situation, made it work for him to keep doing what he loves. 100%. And that, talk about resilience, right? It's that ability to bounce back from stuff rather than just like, oh, I have lost an important part of myself and not being able to adapt and such. Yeah, no, that would be, that is absolutely the type of thing I'm striving for. Agreed. Contradiction with scripture and or reality, that is, yes. Science is a hack job continually working to fix itself. Yeah. You did done it, get owned? No! Good job, Essie. Fantastic. No, that's... We'll see. I feel like I can beat this room, but maybe I'll need to do one of the, like, set a certain amount so that we can get to some Rain World, but we're vibing. It's also why repeatability is so important in science. Yes, the first result has a 5% of being chance, the second has a 0.25, and the third has a 0.0125. And on top of that, you also have to consider that, that's not, it's not just that, because there's also like different methodologies, but that's part of why you gotta use different methodologies to try and get at different things, because what if you constructed what if your construct is wrong, right? Like, what if you aren't measuring what you think you are? I mean, depends on what. Fundamental constants are known to many zeros. Physics considers 5 sigma as conformational for a particle, for example. P-value hacking tends to be your dime a dozen exploratory articles, small study size, etc. More just to say, maybe there's something here. No. It's just the fact that I got a psych degree, so a lot of stuff, even in... Psych is a weird science because there's not... You're not working with anything that you... We can't look in someone's brain and go, this is what happened. We're having to rely on people, which is fundamentally tough. But yeah, so a lot of what we know about that is a little wonky. Hello, you're back. Want advice? Mayhaps. I want to see if I can actually land... I feel like I can land this middle one, and that should change stuff, or make me feel a little more confident, but we will see. Sociological sciences are finicky. Useful, but finicky. No, 100%. It's as bad that media takes articles and says, holy crap, this is amazing, but it's not even... Oh, yeah, no, that's... The number of times that you read like a pop sci article and it's just like, ugh, middle one has easier path. Really? Because I was... or it has an easier path than what I've been working on. I gotcha. Good science is expensive, so there's a lot of studies out there that are like, we think there's something here, but we need more funding to really test it. So here's a preliminary study that shows promise, so please give us money to study. Yes, no, yep, indeed. That's everyone wants to be a scientist until they find out that most of the science job is actually getting funding. Oh, fanfic sequel, nice. But no, like that is a sort of sad reality. Is like, it's unfortunately, money drives things. So, lots of grant applications and whatnot. So, easier path in the middle. I'm gonna give one more honest shot to doing that jump over, and if I'm not getting it, I will inquire about what this third easier path is. Boop. No. Materialist or an idealist? I'm going to need a little bit of a definition for what you're meaning by those two. Boop. Like, I am confident that those have actual codified philosophical names, or meanings. I don't know them off the top of my head. Sister works in science with a capital S, and it's fun to hear about it, but it sounds like paperwork hell. Yup. I've got a friend who's going into, I think sort of biotech-esque research, which is awesome. Okay. Okay, yes, Jammer. If you've got some recommendations, I would love them. But yeah, like, they're going into that, and yeah, a lot of it is trying to figure out how to get funding for that. And there are certain things that are really interesting bits of science that have some issues. Try number 2 backwards. By not dying. Oh! Wait, so we go here, climb wall, and then we jump over and then loop from right to left, anti-clockwise? Try not dying. Look, we're trying. Ah! Bop, bop, bop. No! But so going anti-clockwise rather than clockwise. Ah! Now I can't even get there. Ugh. God damn it. Ah! Okay. So. Oh. Oh, yep. Nope, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing how much easier that is. Because then we're not having to make up as much height and... Oh! I understand now. Thank you. Okay. We'll see if we can make this work. Materialism is the view that material objects exist. Idealism is the view that every object either is or depends for its existence upon mental entities. So basically, is there an objective reality, or is objective reality based on our brain? Neither? Genuinely, quote, I exist with a significant amount of ambiguity. Both of those in their pure form are reductive at best. Yeah, and I don't know if there is an objective reality. I don't. I have no way of knowing. And I'm okay with that, because it doesn't materially affect me if this world is not some sort of objective reality. What I will say is that I guess maybe I tend a little more towards idealism, because it's something where I've made this argument a number of times, because psychology will do this to you, kids. That fundamentally, your eyes don't see things. Your brain sees things based on input from the eyes. But it doesn't even have to be from the eyes. Oh! Wow, so... Nailed that. Okay. We'll probably call it there. Oh man. We'll take a moment to yap and finish this up, and then we'll do some Raid World. But hey, we got there. Thank you. It's amazing how much that one tip did. But is this last room? Hold up. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna focus for a moment and see if we can do this, and then get back to the conversation, because it's interesting. What? No! Did 1A dashless? Goddamn. Everyone dunking on me today. And it's earned. Oh, so it's just a lot of up and down? So, we need to conserve our dash so that we can dash backwards. Lots of wind, god damn. But I need to be going up and to the right there, so boop. Nope. Nope. I'm not quite getting the exit from that bubble right, and then I keep dashing to compensate, which is not right. Okay. Zoom. Zoom. Up and to the right, not just up. Up, right. Up, right. Walk upright. No! Okay. Last room before the beeps and boops. Ah, okay. Okay, so maybe down left there. So we were told that this is the last room. So we're doing a little bit more of a push. Whoa. So yeah, it'll probably be about an hour of Rain World today because we also want to finish up. Interesting convo. God, okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We are focusing up on this. Bam, bam, bam. Wah. But yeah, no, Cynthia, it is always an estimate. I'm sorry, I know that Rain World is the main thing for you, but we also do other things. Boop. Ah! I will say, trying to get stuff done, though, always increases tension. Where's my Rain World? I know! We're working on it. Pathing tricks that make the room far easier. We may ask for those in a bit, but... Oh, wait. Oh! Hey, what if we don't only worry about the bubbles? I guess there are some places where, yeah, we can, like, grab onto the wall? Potentially? God, I'm clicking my tongue at myself. That's... Sucks teeth to show disapproval at self. Oh god. So dash. Yoselin. No! This is like the feathers all over again, where you just kind of have to, like, dashing down left instead of left is an example. Yes. I have a lot of trouble with the diagonal inputs, though, for some reason. Climbing is important. Yes. Oh, God. Okay. Locking in. Never mind. Quick change diagonal is tricky? Yeah. Dial in, like a phone. Some people are extremely methodical about figuring out a room in Celeste, and others are so vibe-based. Yep. Lots of different types. Man, so, oh, I think I need to try and get over. Need to dash at the place you die for. Yeah, I'm also realizing in that, like, dip, Whoa. How do you keep a dash there? Good question. Wow. Some go from one to another? Yeah. Different problem-solving tools for others. It's in fairness, Jammer, I don't remember where I died that much because it was a blur. Bam. Oh my god. Oh, this is painful because I'm like, I'm having so many thoughts about this, but I need to focus. Oh, no. That's how. Okay, yes. Uh-huh. Oh, wait, that is the place I died. I understand. For some reason, I thought I died a little further than that. I was realizing that I'm like, that's not what we're talking about, Jammer. We're at something earlier. Fanfic sequel is very recent, as in first chapter was published yesterday. Sick! Heuristic guided depth first search, yeah. Oh, no. Trusted to transfer itself. It's obvious that that's the option we'll win. But still, we're trying to go for that. People might change their mind and come from behind. We're doing the 50. It's mostly a channel point dump in a lot of ways. So we're halfway there, it looks like. If it is taking too long, it might. Part of this, I was trying to estimate it based on like the amount of channel points that would take. But this is also the 50,000 worked very well when I was streaming 5 days a week, but streaming less than 5 days a week might be different. So we might do an earlier cutoff possibly. Madeline transferred to Slughorn? What? No! How long do you want it to last? Don't have anything too dialed in. Gotta go. Stream, thanks for a good conversation. Absolutely. I've still got a couple of thoughts on the ending bits, which I'll probably talk about here. So if you're interested, you can probably check the VOD, but also I'm sure that we'll happily talk about stuff like that in the future. So, have a good one. Thank you, Corker. Fun talking. Okay, come on. Bam, bam. Okay. Okay. Upright. Down, right, up. No! Right, not upright. God. Just keep it that way so I can monopolize the story. Ever heard someone rage with that noise? Because it's not so much rage. I'm not, like, angry. It's just, it's frustration. It's the... why am I like this? Okay, no! I make those noises playing then, isn't I? I think that's fair. Or you're unfollowing twice. Uh-oh. Look, we're trying. As I've said before, mostly a yapping streamer that happens to play games, slash, oh god, small stakes gameplay. Oh no, there was one unfollow then follow. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Don't let it get to you, Johan. You've gotten so close twice. Why am I messing up on that one now? What's changed? Oh no. You've started a trend. Losing all the followers, but at least regaining them. I will say, I've definitely done that in like, a voice call. God damn it. Where it's like, you have said something that has made my brain go so, blah. I will leave temporarily. Net gain? Oh wait, huh, yeah, wait. Huh? True, we are at 155 now. How does that work? Okay. Zoom. Zoom. Okay. We're going, we're going. Technically further. Okay. Okay. Oh, why didn't I grab? Okay, now I'm getting close to raging. No! Progress is still progress. Okay. Bam, bam. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, I'm hitting that point where I'm like starting to go. I get it's the like on tilt, right? Where you're starting to go faster. You're going faster and getting sloppier because you're frustrated. Blood's finna crash out? Huh? That does not even parse his English to me. Bam. Okay. Okay. I was not expecting the wind to die there. Okay. Okay. So, rhythm room. Okay. And it's windy? Oh no. No. Wait, we might have to call it. This took Tim so long. Like, go absolutely tweaking for. Okay. So, jump, jump, jump. No, we just gotta go. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. Okay, no, that seems... Okay, that seems easier. So wait. I thought Tim had a lot of trouble with this. No, we will be playing Rain. This is literally the last room here. We just gotta do that. We're so close. Boop. No! Okay. Mwah. Yeah! Indeed. Bump. No! Okay. Boop. 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 We have to get into the boop boop mode. Boom. 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 Okay. Boom. 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 Nope, I was offbeat. Boom. 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 Okay. Fourb complete. Oh. Thank you, thank you. Nice. Okay. Okay. Golden feather, it just says it's a thing that you get. So we got the heart. The heart contributes to unlocking later things, it seems. And then oh dear. But yeah, so it's basically we're trying to get to this level called Farewell, which if I remember correctly requires a lot of unlocks. Or no, that's right. It's this B-side that does. But yeah. But we're trying to get all of the B-side hearts, and then we'll do Farewell, which is the last sort of like mainline story one. Okay. Thank you guys for bearing with that. That was, oh boy. I do want to take a moment. I want to finish up a little bit of the earlier conversation, then we'll take our break and go to Rain World. I will also look at the solution to Hello. With these types of games, you get very good at earlier areas because you play them so much, but not as good at later ones. Need some sort of practice mode that lets you skip ahead. Yeah, like checkpointing. They do, Celeste does allow that a little bit. Like you can select particular checkpoints once you've done them, but yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry, so going back up to the perception thing. And, oh, cool, a good friend of mine got their PhD last spring in bio-adjacent fields. Oh, Oh, sick, nice. I'll definitely need to ask Corker about that. Like, things do in fact exist, but also we were just kind of self-aware meat machines that fundamentally can only know the way we experience and not the thing itself. Yeah, perception of reality is heavily on our terrible senses, ultimately seems to operate based on physical properties, which one's perception of them largely cannot influence. Consider yourself an idealist precisely because objective reality is inaccessible to the mind. One can't really know anything is real outside the reality construct. No, and that's, yeah. So that's, I guess, quote, I would lean more towards idealism in that, like, we don't know, right? Like, we fundamentally cannot know if there is anything real. I choose to act as though things are real, though, because fundamentally, like, that makes the most sense to me. Of, it's not, even if things aren't real, it's real enough for me. I'm able to have conversations with people as if there's an objective reality, so that's why I stick with. So I wouldn't say I'm necessarily strictly an idealist, but, like, yes, the world is constructed in our mind, and that's, you kind of have to think about that if you've got if you've looked at how the brain works enough. But yeah, we hit the goal of totally 25,000, not 50,000. But yeah, no, so we've done that. How, it's more than 9? Huh? More than 9 what? So I consider bop, bop, bop. But yeah, so yes. But no, it's because it's very fascinating what we can do. Oh, channel points? More than 9 of them? Yes. I'm not 10 channel points. Well, yeah, typically you get them in 10 increments. Huh? But yeah, and one other thing I wanted to say of, like, talking about, like, giving seriousness to games. This, I think, was a great example of, like, this, we got way more tuned in and serious there and moved from, like, yapping to, like, playing the game. And that increased sort of the fun of the game, but shifts it from other places. It's just, it's interesting how you choose to interact with the game can change it. And that's also very true of, like, I've been playing a lot of, like, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which I often use as sort of like a zone out game, but I've been trying to push a little more to, like, understand strategy more, and there's a lot more depth. I'm having a lot more fun with actively engaging with it. Games are interesting. So let's take a quick look at the hello from Retrograde Inverse and see how I'm going to be bopping myself on the head for not getting it. And then quick break and Rain World. What? What? Solved. Okay. Solved by Sigma. Solution: replace all of the white pixels of the image, or simply flood fill the background with black. Oh. Okay. This will reveal a nearly white rectangle around some letters scattered throughout the page, spelling out the word tritone. So we need to actually take the image and fill that in. So there were some of these letters, or the background in some places wasn't the exact same. So that some of it wasn't the exact same colors, so that when you flood fill, what is this? This is Retrograde Inverse. This is a series of puzzles made by Quote Pilgrim, who's here. Hello, Quote. That basically you can go look at it. Here, I'll just throw the link in so it's a little easier if you're interested. And you can go take a look at some of these puzzles and take a crack at solving them. We've solved a couple here on, well, I guess we've solved one here on stream, with a lot of hand-holding. Like Benorum we worked on, because this QR code goes to some Latin text and such. Yes, definitely a bot. That's me. But yeah, so some fun ones if you really enjoy puzzles. Go check this out and take a crack. And Quote, Wall is apparently banking on them not being claimed, but if you solve one, Quote has said they'll do a commission. Background behind some of the letters is RBG 254, 254, 250. See, that one, I tend to have a, I set my flood fill stuff to typically a lower or higher sensitivity, lower sensitivity, so that it does more fuzzing. I would not have gotten that with my default stuff. Yeah, Jorlum shop. Put into an image editor which convert one color to another, make 250. Yep. And technically not white forms boxes around letters. Only 2 to go. A relatively easy one in your honest opinion, and straight up impossible one. Hey. But yeah. Yeah, you should set the tolerance to 1. Yeah, but for a lot of the stuff I need it to not be 1. Awesome though. But yeah, no, that makes sense. So that's it's interesting because now I understand that one of the big things for you is we should not be I was viewing them as sort of a thing on a screen behind glass. It's like a puzzle in a museum, but these are things that you're supposed to take and work with, which is awesome. There's another process you can do. Okay. Open the image in Krita. Will it work with the solved, or is that like an extra layer on top of it? Blah. Bum, bum, bum. Krita? Doesn't matter? Okay. Yawn is focused on privacy, also Yawn isn't using Firefox. Because I do enjoy some of the convenience of Google stuff, and also consider my main policy with privacy. At some point, I'm sure Firefox will have some sort of leak, or someone is going to do stuff with it that it's like, you know, it's not fantastic. Oh my god, what the hell? Just let me do stuff. It's easy to get rid of the watermark if you need to. Okay. Windows sound, yep. So copied image, paste it in. Okay. And then you said Control M. Ah. Okay. I assume something with this. Ah. Ah. Drag the bottom not to the right. So not to the right? Oh, draw there. Oh? Huh. That's interesting. Celeste stream into Photoshop stream. Yeah. Drag the bottom node to the right. Oh, okay. So yeah, so what we had done. And that's, yeah, that's, so some of these are already, so E, because ends in tritone, so the N, O, wait, so T, so T-O-N-E, T-R-I. Yep, tritone. Yeah, isn't Rain World so awesome looking? Oh, same thing to the blank image from Discord, alright. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, what was that in? Was that in art or general? Where are you, little image? Or, oh wait, no, was that puzzle? No, not in puzzle. Where is the blank image? It's in art? Okay. I might have scrolled past it because I guess I was looking for an image, but if it's blank, Bum 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 ba-dum bum. My way too far back? Oh, there we go. Copy image. Okay. Zoom, zoom. As on monitor. Okay. Control M. Images, Johan. The puzzles are images. Wow. Nice. That's... You said you really enjoyed steganography, right? That's awesome. Invisible ink for the internet. That's super sick. Okay, I see. I see where things have gone. That's awesome. But yeah, no, that's I was treating them as word puzzles. I was treating them as something that we had to like figure out something clever about the information being presented to us on the surface. But it seems that yeah, these are things where you need to do more. That they are physical. They're digital, but you need to treat them as physical things in a lot of ways. So interesting. However, we're going to take our 3-minute break and then come back with some Rain World. Vision was meant to make it extremely obvious that you need to mess with that. I would, no, that it makes sense. I just, yeah, different. Somehow it didn't work because I was still thinking about the visual information, not it as a digital object. But yes, thank you all. This has been fantastic. We will be taking a 3-minute break and then coming back with an hour or so of Rain World. Yes, hydrate. Thank you. Hydrating for the Rain World, but crash. This is a fantastic opportunity to stand up, stretch, grab some water, grab a snack, use the restroom if you need to. If you've got meds and now is an appropriate time to take them, this is a fantastic opportunity to do so. Remember to look outside at the lovely day and or night out, because there's a wonderful world out there. I'm not all that there is. And if you've got something else that you need to transition to in your day, this is a great opportunity to do so, because we'll be locked in for like another hour or so. So thank y'all. This has been great, but we will catch you on the flip side. For now, bye-bye.